The sound of shattering plastic echoed through the executive floor like a gunshot, sharp and final, and in that frozen second, every head in the boardroom turned toward the janitor standing at the doorway, his hands trembling, the CEO's laptop lying in pieces at his feet. No one yet understood that what had just broken open would expose a secret powerful enough to change every life in that room forever. Before the story unfolds any further, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the idea that the quietest people often carry the deepest truths, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Ethan Hale had never meant to be noticed. For 5 years, he moved through the building like a shadow, mopping marble floors before sunrise, emptying trash long after the executives went home, fixing small things that no one ever thanked him for. He wore the same faded jacket every winter and carried his lunch in a dented metal box. Most people didn't even know his name. They called him Janitor, or sometimes just pointed. But every night, after clocking out, Ethan hurried home to the one place where he mattered more than anything in the world. A small apartment where his 8-year-old daughter slept with her homework spread across the kitchen table, waiting for him to check it. Life had not been kind to Ethan. His wife had passed away suddenly 3 years earlier, leaving him with grief that never quite loosened its grip and a child who needed him to be strong even when he felt hollow inside. Medical bills had swallowed their savings. Dreams he once had of finishing college or starting his own business had quietly faded into survival. Every morning, he promised himself he would endure one more day, because his daughter deserved stability, warmth, and a father who never gave up. The company tower where Ethan worked was everything his life was not. Glass walls, polished confidence, people who spoke in numbers so large they felt unreal. The CEO, Marcus Langford, was a name spoken with reverence and fear. He was known as a visionary, a ruthless strategist, a man who could dismantle competitors with a single decision. Ethan had seen him only a few times, always from a distance, surrounded by suits and authority. Their worlds were never meant to collide. On that particular evening, the boardroom was still occupied long past its usual hours. A major acquisition was underway, something that would be announced the next morning and shift the entire market. Ethan waited patiently outside, his cleaning cart beside him, until an assistant waved him in with an impatient gesture. He moved carefully, as he always did, mindful not to disturb anything that did not belong to him. The accident happened in less than a second. As Ethan reached to unplug a cable near the long conference table, his foot caught on the edge of a chair. His balance went, his hand jerked forward, and the laptop that sat open near the edge was knocked to the floor. The sound was sickening. The screen cracked. The casing burst open. Silence swallowed the room. For a moment, Ethan could not breathe. That laptop was not just any device. It was the CEO's. The room filled with sharp stares and held breath, and Ethan felt the familiar weight of shame press down on him. He bent quickly, apologizing with his whole body, his heart racing as he imagined losing his job, his health insurance, his ability to provide. But as the laptop lay broken, something unexpected happened. The internal drive slid partially out of its casing, and the screen, though cracked, flickered back on. Lines of text and files appeared, visible to anyone standing close enough. What caught the attention of the board members was not the damage, but what was open on the screen. Ethan froze. He recognized what he was seeing, because years earlier, before life had unraveled, he had worked as a systems analyst. He had left that world behind to care for his wife during her illness, and when she passed, no one wanted a man with gaps in his resume and grief in his eyes. But knowledge does not disappear just because life changes. The files displayed were not standard financial projections. They were layered folders, encrypted pathways, and data transfers that told a darker story. Hidden accounts, manipulated numbers, evidence of a massive internal scheme that went far beyond aggressive business practices. This was fraud on a scale that could destroy the company and ruin countless lives. The boardroom erupted, not in sound, but in tension. Faces paled. Eyes darted. The CEO stepped forward, his composure cracking for the first time. Ethan, still kneeling, felt something shift inside him. Fear was there, yes, but beneath it was a sense of responsibility he had not felt in years. He stood slowly, hands shaking, and explained what the data suggested, how the structure pointed to deliberate concealment. He did not accuse. He did not raise his voice. He simply told the truth as he saw it, because he had spent too many years swallowing his own pain to stay silent now. The board listened. At first, reluctantly. Then intently. They asked questions, and Ethan answered them with clarity that surprised even himself. He spoke not as a janitor, but as a man who once had expertise, who still understood systems, patterns, and the cost of deception. The CEO tried to regain control, dismissing him, but the evidence on the shattered laptop spoke louder than authority ever could. Security was called, not for Ethan, but to secure the room. An emergency audit was ordered. Lawyers were contacted. The acquisition was halted. In the span of 1 hour, the future of the company changed direction, all because a man who cleaned floors had stumbled and told the truth. When the night finally ended, Ethan expected to be escorted out and quietly terminated. Instead, he was asked to wait. Hours later, as dawn painted the city in pale light, the board returned with faces heavy but resolute. They thanked him, not with applause or dramatic gestures, but with acknowledgement. They told him that what he had done required courage, and that integrity mattered more than titles. In the weeks that followed, investigations confirmed everything Ethan had seen. The CEO was removed. Legal action followed. The company survived, bruised but intact, because someone unexpected had prevented a deeper collapse. News outlets never mentioned Ethan by name, but inside the company, his story spread quietly, like a reminder. Ethan's life began to change, not overnight, but steadily. He was offered a position in the IT department, tailored to his skills and his need to still be present for his daughter. His salary tripled. His benefits expanded. For the first time since his wife's passing, he felt air return to his lungs. At home, his daughter noticed the difference before he said a word. He was less tired. He smiled more. He helped with homework without glancing at the clock. On weekends, they went to the park instead of counting coins at the kitchen table. The grief was still there, but it no longer owned him completely. Ethan never forgot where he came from. He still greeted the cleaning staff by name. He still stayed late some nights, helping others update resumes or learn new skills. He knew how close he had come to being invisible forever, and he refused to let others feel that way if he could help it. If this story has touched your heart so far, if it reminds you that dignity can exist even in the hardest seasons of life, please take a moment to like and share this video. Your engagement tells us that stories about quiet strength and honesty still matter. As time passed, the company culture shifted. Training programs were introduced. Ethical oversight became real, not just a slogan. All because one night, a broken laptop revealed a hidden truth, and a single father chose integrity over fear. Just before the ending, I want to ask you something special. Please comment below with the words, "Integrity matters," if you believe that honesty, even from the least expected voice, can change the world. Your comments help this message reach more hearts. Ethan sometimes thought back to that moment of impact, the sound of plastic breaking against marble. What had felt like the worst mistake of his life had become the turning point. He learned that life does not always reward careful steps, but it often responds to courage when it matters most. Near the end of every workday, Ethan still walked past the janitorial closet. Sometimes he paused, just for a second, remembering the man he used to be, the one who carried his whole world in a lunchbox and love in his tired eyes. He did not feel shame. He felt pride. And if this story moved you, if it made you believe a little more in unseen strength and second chances, please engage with this video. Like it, comment, share it with someone who needs hope. Because somewhere right now, someone feels invisible, and your support helps stories like this remind them that they matter.